It is Friday, September 15th, and we're in a bouncy car, and this is our 32nd weekly vlog of 2017. Because we are headed to Carowinds tonight for Scareowinds, and we're picking up Brian's sister Debbie, which if you've seen some of our other Carowinds vlogs or our June 2016 Disney trip, you've seen her before, and she'll be with us tonight. I am going to do the Scareowinds actual event in a separate vlog, and I will link it here because it will be out before this vlog. So be sure to check that out. It's a really fun Halloween event, and what's really nice is they don't charge extra if you have a season pass. It's included. We are, however, paying extra for this sort of skip the line for all of the haunted houses, and it gets us in some special rooms. We don't even know what those are. They're key entry rooms. So it'll be really interesting to check that out because we've never done that before. We usually just wait in line and do it the normal way, but we usually aren't able to get to all of the houses because the lines get so long, so this will allow us to get to each house at least, which will be awesome, and maybe give us more time to do other things and not feel so rushed, so I think it's going to be fun. One of the things I was going to do is throughout this week, as I remember them, sort of talk about things from our Disney trip. Brian and I, this is sad, but it is what it is. We've declared it probably one of our worst vacations ever, but Brian's laughing, but it really is. We had one in our 20s that wasn't good, not at Disney, a different vacation. It wasn't good for a variety of reasons, but other than that one, this was definitely, it was sort of that series of unfortunate events, and again, we are grateful, you know, for being here and not being affected by the hurricane and all of that. I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but we had a nasty virus. We both had fevers, we both coughed. I'm still coughing. It was just, and that's hard to enjoy. We made the best of it, but about 4 or 5 every day, I just crashed. I mean, it was rough. So that was probably the biggest downer of the trip. And then also, it's some of the hottest and humid, the combination. We go almost every year Labor Day weekend, at least for a long weekend, and we were there last year and the year before at that time, and I don't ever remember it being quite like this. This was, look outside and in 10 minutes you're drenched. I don't mean just certain parts are drenched, I mean your whole body from head to toe is drenched. The upside is we did get to go see Pandora, and I was going to do a separate review on it, but I've decided not to, so it's going to be in this vlog. Because, and that's what I'll cover today. I'm not going to do the whole Disney trip now, I'll break it into parts, but for Pandora, I think we both have different opinions. The outside to me looks spectacular, and I actually think it looks much better during the day than at night. Night's cool, they have these bioluminescent plants, but I know I remember seeing a Disney ad where they showed people walking on the sidewalk and it changing colors. We never saw that. I don't know if we didn't walk in the right place, but all we saw was glow-in-the-dark paint with black lights on it, on the sidewalk, and it didn't interact when you walked on it or anything like that. The daytime looks stunning. It just really does, and the mountains really do look like they're floating to me. I know mentally they're not, but they did a fantastic job with that. The rides, I actually like the river ride better than Flight of Passage, which I know is going to boggle a lot of people, but to me Flight of Passage was a slightly different Soarin'. Yes, I know it's a little more exciting and that kind of thing, but I almost like Soarin' better because I like the way it takes you up in the, literally, you're truly up in the air. To me, a ride with a video is a ride with a video, no matter how advanced it is. I would rather be on a roller coaster moving or on a dark ride moving. I'm not a big fan of sitting in one spot while something's happening on a screen, just my opinion. The ride is beautiful though, and it did a great job, you know, bringing Pandora to life. So I'm not saying it's bad. I just wouldn't wait more than 30 minutes for it, which we did with the Fast Pass. That was with the Fast Pass. We timed it. It took a full 30 minutes. So that's probably my only complaint about the ride is there's 2 different holding queues So even if you have a fast pass, even if you're at the front of the fast pass line, like one day we were literally the third and fourth person going in first thing in the morning in the fast pass line. It still took us 30 minutes because they have all these holding areas. And so I think neither of us were crazy about that, the holding areas. And then since Brian's concentrating on driving, I'll just sum up the way he felt. He didn't enjoy it because it made him motion sick. I mean, you can't really love something that makes you motion sick. So he said it doesn't make him as sick, for those of you wondering that do get motion sick, it doesn't make him as sick as Star Tours, but it definitely affected him. And the first time he rode it, we had just eaten a Boma buffet, so he was like, maybe it's because I just ate. So the second time was first thing in the morning, he hadn't even eaten and it still made him sick. So he was a sport, rode it with me twice, but I wouldn't expect us to ride it a lot more just because it makes him sick. And because, like, if I'm gonna, you know, yank him onto a ride that makes him sick, I want it to be something that I'm like, yes, I love it. And I don't have, I know tons of people have that response to it. I did not. Navi River Journey, however, which I've heard a lot of mediocre responses, I love it. I love dark boat rides. Since we just rewatched Avatar recently, it was cool seeing all the little bits from the movie. Some of it's screens. You've got the one, you know, really impressive audio animatronic. But I just like little details like the frogs jumping on the pedals above you and stuff like that, or whatever they are. I don't know if they're frogs, but I just thought it was beautiful, and I liked the music in the ride. I enjoyed it, so I actually like it better than Flight of Passage, which I know people are gonna be like, oh, you guys are crazy, but that's us. Everyone has their own opinion. I do think it's a great addition. I think anything that Disney does is great, and that expanding that park is great. Like, I do feel like there's tons to do there now, because we've always enjoyed all the walking trails and everything. So if you did everything, including the shows, I'm not even sure you could do it all in a day now. So I think that's great. I really like when they flesh the parks out to be, you know, truly a full day or more experience. So I'm going to wrap up talking about Disney for today at least, but I'll try throughout this vlog to sort of touch on the high points of our trip. The trip vlogs, of course, will come out in the future, but we don't necessarily stop and give detailed reviews in those, so I thought I would at least throw a few of our thoughts from the trip out there. So we stopped for gas, but we were on our way to Brian's sister's, and then we're headed to Scareowinds. I've got my Jack and Sally, sorry, Sally's covered t-shirt on, and I hope I don't die of a heat stroke because it's like 83 still, but the temperature, this is a weird time of the year here. It's in the 80s, mid-80s, mid to high 80s during the day, but at night it drops into the 60s, so I'm hoping it'll cool down fast. There's the Scareowinds sign. Hey guys, it's Saturday, September 16th. And we're back from a late night for us at Scareowinds last night. That was so much fun. Really had a great time. It was great seeing my sister-in-law, and thanks to that Fright Lane pass we talked about, that's basically gets you to the front of the line for all the mazes.
I don't think I can do Scareowinds any other way.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
It spoiled us now.
It did spoil us because I think it's the first year we've ever been able to do all the mazes, because you just run out of time. The lines are too long. And even with the pass, they open at 7. We weren't done until 11. Now, we did all the mazes and all the skeleton key rooms, and if you don't have the pass, you can't even get into the skeleton key room. But I still don't think you could do all 6 mazes in one night. I don't. Do you? With those lines?
You could, I guess.
It'd be tight. But anyway, yeah, I don't think we'll ever do it any other way. One thing we were talking about, though, is once you've seen the skeleton key rooms, I don't know that we would repeat those unless they changed them somehow. Like, I can't imagine wanting to see it again. So they were cool, don't get me wrong. It's just that once you know what it is.
I would repeat the Blood Yard one and the one at the front. The first one we went to.
The Blood Yard?
Yeah, the Blood Yard. I can't really say much to give it away, but that was towards the end. You liked it. The flashlights.
Yes, that was good.
And the first one was good too, because she was really good.
She was good. Well, and also that last one.
Yeah.
That one was good too. Yeah, I would probably do those again, but yeah, I wouldn't do all of them again, you know, once you already know what it is. But in any case, if you've never done it and you're going to Scareowinds, I recommend it. I think it was a lot of fun. and it was so nice bypassing the lines. The lines were huge. I mean, it could have been because it was opening night, but wow, they were massive. So we're getting set up to record the food and wine review video. Brian put up the green screen in our very messy dining room. Our dining room is turned into a studio slash game room slash laundry. It's a little bit of everything right now, but we're gonna record that. I am hoping I'll be able to put some footage. That'll actually be out before this, so I'll link to that, sorry, over here. But I'm hoping that I can I filmed a Crossworld showcase looking at Spaceship Earth. So I'm hoping I can put in it, and filmed it for a while. So I'm hoping I can put that behind us while we're talking. If not, I'll probably just put a still photo of Spaceship Earth or something to do with food and wine behind us. But I'm really hoping that I can make it look like we're at Epcot. Not to fool anyone, it'll be obvious we're not there, but I just mean for the feel of it. I think it would be cool if it looks kind of like we're at Epcot. That'd be neat. Hello, it's Sunday, September 17th, I believe. And it's about halfway through the day. We just had lunch actually. Not much this morning to vlog. I've been mostly editing the food and wine video. It took me hours yesterday and I'm going on hours today. When you watch it, you're like, why did that take so long? It's just a lot of editing. I have to go through 8 days worth of footage from our trip and pull out all the food we ate, and I can't always remember what day we ate what food, and so it makes it time consuming to weed through the footage and find the clips and then insert the clips, so it's just time consuming, but I think it's gonna turn out good. I'm happy with it. We did the green screen again. There's definitely some snafus with that. The main one is I held up some items that we got and that were related to the food festival, and it distorted the color on those. So now I know if I'm gonna do a haul video or show things, don't use the green screen. Also, we said interventions wrong through the whole video, and I don't know why. We know what it's called, but we called it innovations the whole time. So it's always funny when you go back and edit and you're like, and there's nothing you can do about it at that point. It's already wrong. But in any case, I know you guys know we know what that is. I'm not worried about you guys, but we'll always have people who search on YouTube for videos and they find us for the first time, and usually that we get comments from them telling us what we did wrong. So, oh well, what can you do? But I think it's a really good one. I'm happy with it. So first news is I also did this today and partially yesterday as well. I cleaned up our dining room. I showed it to you yesterday and looked like, recording studio slash hot mess. It's still not totally clean. There's still piles of things because, well, it's life. You have piles of things, but overall it looks way better. It looks more like a dining room. I left our green table cover on because we are thinking about doing a tabletop game today. I don't know if we're gonna get time, but I decided to leave it on. But otherwise I pretty much cleaned it up and turned it back into mostly a dining room. No more laundry, no more video equipment. In other news, so at our beach house, we had these cameras that Brian can look at over the internet and make sure our house is okay. Mostly we use it during hurricanes and stuff to make sure the floor hasn't flooded, because it has flooded before. Water can come in under the door because we're on a slab. So there's no buffer between the ground and our unit. So he's super sealed the doors. It's not that. It's just that if it's blowing hard enough and there's enough rain, it'll come in. I don't think there's much you can do about that other than sandbagging. And since we live out of town, we're not there to sandbag. So our old cameras died. We've had them for years. So he got this new camera and it's pretty funny. So here's what the box looked like. So it's called a dome camera.
That's the company Yi, I guess. I don't know why. Is that Yi?
I don't know.
It's 40 bucks.
40 bucks?
Yeah.
So far it's a lot more advanced than our old camera. See it turning? I don't know if you guys can see that on the film, but it follows movement. And so what's really awesome about that, it also will record if someone's moving. So if someone was to break into our place, even though that's not our primary reason for using it, it would pick that up, record it, and it would send Brian the video and say, hey, you've got movement, because we'll set it to alert him if there's any movement. So that's actually pretty awesome. And this was way cheaper than our old cameras that bit the dust. So the technology has gotten better and cheaper, which, I mean, that's the way tech goes. So we're going to show you a demo of how it works. It's pretty cool. I was kind of blown away when Brian showed me. It's pretty neat. I'm holding Brian's phone, and so we're going to give you a demo of what it looks like when someone walks in the room. So he's right here next to me in the bedroom, and he's going to walk into the kitchen.
All right, here we go.
So there he is. And it's following him.
That's creepy.
It is creepy. So that's pretty neat there. I'm impressed with it. Especially for the price, for 40 bucks. I mean, that's pretty cool. So I am actually going back to video editing. This is, like I said, taking forever. I totally finished, thought I was done, and then I realized it'd kind of be nicer to show the actual kiosk, not just the food. So I'm going back and finding footage I took of the kiosks where I have it and inserting that now. And it's a 30-minute-ish video, so it's a lot of footage to go through to, I don't know why I'm getting blurry suddenly, sorry about that, guys. It's a lot of footage to go through to, you know, insert those pieces. And then I still need to rewatch it again. I always rewatch to make sure there's not some mistake that I made, overt mistake anyway, with the editing. So hopefully that'll go out this afternoon sometime, because I know several of you have asked for it. So I want to make sure to get that out to you as soon as possible before your trips. Hey guys, it's Tuesday, Monday. It's wishful thinking. I wish it was Tuesday. It's Monday. And nothing super exciting happening today because it's a work day. But I thought I'd share a little bit more about our trip with you. Just giving little tidbits because these are things that won't necessarily be covered once the trip videos come out. Not to mention the trip videos will come out a long time from now. But we don't tend to editorialize a lot in the trip videos. It's just more of a vlog, a vlog of what we're doing. However, with this trip, it was, I want to say it's our first time doing a split stay. I mean, I think we've stayed at Pop one night before going to a deluxe, if we know we're getting in late, just so we don't waste a bunch of money on a deluxe resort. But I don't really consider that a split stay. That's more of a staying somewhere one night to save some money. This time we literally did a split stay because we could not rent DVC points and get a reservation for Beach Club the whole time, or Boardwalk, because of food and wine. But we could get 2 nights at Animal Kingdom Lodge, Jumbo House, and the rest of the time at Beach Club. And so that's what we did. I don't regret doing it necessarily because that was the only way we could stay at an Epcot resort. Otherwise, we would have had to stay like the whole time at Animal Kingdom, which we didn't want to do. We love the resort, don't get me wrong, but during a food festival, we want to be near Epcot. So we ended up doing the split stay, 2 nights at Animal Kingdom Lodge and the rest of the time at Beach Club. And we did not like it. We know Disney will move your luggage, and maybe it would have felt more vacation-y if we'd done that, but we actually wanted to have our stuff with us. So since we rented a car, we moved our own luggage. That part didn't seem that bad to me. The part that seemed tiring was just having to repack everything and then resettle at a new place. I didn't like that, and Brian didn't either. That's just us. I know some people love split stays and love getting to try different resorts, so that's just our opinion. But it wasn't for us. We won't do it unless we have to again. Also, I know we just did our big food and wine review video, but one thing I don't think we mentioned in that, I know we said we had a good time, but I don't think we mentioned, we both felt like, despite the fact that we weren't having a great trip because we were sick and because it was so hot and all of that, that this was one of the best food and wine festivals ever. It was definitely the most amount of kiosks, but that's not the only thing that made it nice. All the food, except for a couple of exceptions that I mentioned in the video, was super fresh and hot and tasty and cooked right. Last year we had a really bad time getting super overcooked food or food that was super dried out from sitting under a heat lamp. I don't know if it's because we went towards the end of the food festival. We were there the second of the last week last year, so maybe people are just getting tired. I don't know, because it was busy. It's not like food was sitting because it wasn't busy. I don't know. The food quality just wasn't there last year in general, but this year it was fantastic. And I know a lot of that's hit or miss in time of day and there's a lot of things that feed into that, but still over a course of an entire week, you get a pretty good feel for the festival. And maybe it is because we were there opening week. Maybe they're really working hard to keep everything good. I don't know. Either way, I think it was one of the better festivals. Also, the crowds were really low. After Labor Day weekend, there were really light crowds, which we did mention in our video. And that wasn't just for the food festival, that was everywhere. It was a slow week, and the closer we got to Irma, the slower it got. Like, we saw a 5-minute wait for Toy Story our last day. That was on Friday. And Disney was still open Saturday. So the crowds went way, way down. And so that made it more enjoyable too, because we never had to wait in line more than behind like one person. I mean, that was super nice. I'd say the highest point to me was meeting up with friends. We had a great time with Alana and Hope from Alopa Takeover. We hung out with them 2 different days, and we also ran into the Magic Geekdom. We also met a few of you, and we really enjoyed that. So if you're one of those people, thanks for saying hi. We always appreciate that. And I just really enjoy meeting up with people. That was fun. Hey guys, it's Thursday, which is the last day of the vlog. Sorry I've been vacant this week. It has been a crazy, crazy busy week, and I haven't had anything interesting to talk about either, other than it's really hot here, and I've heard it's pretty widespread across the country. But we have some super exciting news coming up. I'll share it next week's vlog. Tonight I'm going to the WDW Main Street podcast pub for ladies night. I'll be there with Judith and also Jen from Happiest Vlogs on Earth. We always have a good time when we get together on that show, and so that'll be a lot of fun tonight. I don't know when he's going to release it, probably tomorrow, so it'll probably be out well before this video, but I'm not sure what his release schedule is. So it'll either be out well before this comes out on Monday, or it will be out shortly thereafter. So give them a listen, and if you haven't already, definitely subscribe so that you get their podcast regularly. They have great information on Disney World. So this will wrap up this weekly vlog. Stay tuned next week for some exciting news, and as always, we appreciate subscribes, likes, shares, and comments. Bye.